Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's studentloanjustice.org live stream. My name is Alan Collins. I'm the founder of studentloanjustice.org. To those of you who are new, welcome. We're glad that you found us. We are the oldest, largest, and pretty much only citizens group actually fighting for student loan justice. We've been around for 15 years now. I won't bore you with all the details. Suffice it to say, we know a lot about this problem, and we've been fighting for it only and absolutely from the standpoint of the borrowers, you and me, and all the borrowers out there. We're not a gimmicky, fake Washington, D.C. student advocate group. We're not a 501c3. None of that nonsense. Those people are fake. Don't believe them. We've been featured on 60 Minutes. We've written books. We've lived and breathed this issue for 15 years, so believe me when I tell you that we know a few things about this topic. So I'm very happy to tell you all that we now have like 560,000 signatures on our petition, which is really good, but we need more. We need like 1 million signatures. We want to get to the magic million mark so that this will certainly compel a lot more media coverage and so forth. Here's the skinny, guys. All the loan cancellation plans that we're hearing about from Joe Biden and Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and others, they're nonsense. And I'm really sorry to have to say that, but they are. They will never work. Congress will never pass a law that raises $1 or $2 or more trillion dollars so that they can turn around and give that money to the lenders so that they can pay for loan cancellation. It ain't going to happen. At best, it will be a lame partial cancellation program, and it will have so many strings attached and so much bureaucracy hanging off of it that almost no one will see any benefit. And this predatory, unconstitutional, failed, and it is failed, it's toast, lending system will roll on down the tracks through the next generation of borrowers. And I'm sorry to say that, folks, but that's just what is going to happen. Congress, by definition, cannot pass a meaningful loan cancellation program. And this has already been proven, guys. We've got any number of loan cancellation programs out there. Public service loan forgiveness, income-based repayment, PAYE, repay. You may be on one or more of those. And the Department of Education has proven time and time again with public service loan forgiveness, with the borrower defense to repayment, with IBR, they have no desire or intentions of canceling any loans. The only way that these loans are going to be canceled, and they have to be canceled, this is a failed lending system, is by executive order. The president, whether it's Donald Trump or the next president, can cancel all federally owned student loans by executive order. He can do this without needing approval from Congress, without needing Congress to raise any tax money. In fact, no cash would even change hands. And he could do this without adding 1 penny to the national debt. The Higher Education Act of 1965, as amended, gives the president full authority to waive, cancel, release the federal government's interest in these loans. So that's what's got to happen, folks. As I said, I'm very glad to say that we have 560,000 signatures on our petition. We need to get up to 1 million. If everybody put a little bit of effort into it, we could have 2 or 3 million signatures, like in 2 or 3 days. You know, if everybody got only 1 person to sign, we would have over 1 million signatures. If everybody got 2 people to sign, we would have 3 million signatures. Or wait, no, sorry, 1.5 million signatures. You get the point. It's not hard, but it starts with you. And we are the only loan cancellation. Our call for an executive order is the only meaningful, only viable way to make this happen. So, tonight, I wanted to do a bitch session. I don't know why. I'm just getting so tired of all the nonsense I'm seeing out there. And there's a lot of things to bitch about with regards to student loans. You know, first of all, I want to bitch about the fact that the government and Congress have been so grossly negligent, so corrupted, and so beholden to the lending system that they have allowed this student loan crisis to become a catastrophe, which it is. This is a failed lending system, folks. Even before the coronavirus crisis, 80% of all student loan borrowers were never going to be able to repay their loans. They were either in default, they were in deferment, their forbearance, they were delinquent, or they were paying and their balances were going up. Failed lending system. The default rate for 2004 students, we now know, is over 40%. And that class of people were only borrowing a third of what people are being forced to borrow today for college. Failed. Congress let us down. You know, we've been doing this for 15 years now. We've had, ever since 2006, we've been pushing for the return of, very moderately, of bankruptcy protections to student loans. Every loan in this country has uniform bankruptcy protections, except for student loans. The founding fathers, called for uniform bankruptcy laws in the Constitution, ahead of the power to declare war, ahead of the power to raise an army, ahead of the power to build a navy and coin currency and create a judiciary, and I think ahead of the power to create a post office, I believe. So the founding fathers felt that bankruptcy was pretty important, and yet here we are, 15 years later, after 2005 or 6 when we started this, and bankruptcy is no closer to happening. It's certainly no more there now than it was there 15 years ago, which was gone. So you all should be really pissed that Congress has, for so many years, allowed this unconstitutional, hyperinflationary, viciously predatory, and now today nationally threatening lending system to be inflicted upon us. I think that's worth a bitch. I think that any congressman or senator that might be lording over you in your district or your state owes you an apology, and you should demand one from them. If they haven't been in office for more than, or if they have been in office for more than, say, a year or two, this happened on their watch. You should bitch to them about that. And by the way, if you have any other bitches that you'd like to lodge, large or small, as a comment here, I'd be very happy to read them on the air. So, you know, the bitching could go on forever about not only the federal, but also the private student loan system. I could bitch forever about the Republicans, how as a party, they have stood in the way of returning bankruptcy protections to student loans. But you know, I can also bitch very loudly at Democrats who have essentially done the same thing. Yeah, most of the co-sponsors on our bills have been Democratic. That's true. But you know, I'll just give you one example. So, in 2005, the Republicans took over Congress. And they voted to get bankruptcy taken away from private student loans. So the government's not even involved in these loans. These are like a credit card. Absolutely no good reason, no principle they could stand on to remove bankruptcy from student loans. And they did it. And many of the Democrats, they vowed that if they ever retook the Senate, the Democrats, would at least return bankruptcy protections to private loans. So, 2006, lo and behold, actually the election of 2005, lo and behold, the Democrats retake the entire chamber, both chambers, House and Senate. So, flash forward to 2008, we've got a supermajority in Congress, we've got a Democratic president, can't go wrong, right? And sure enough, an amendment comes up on some bill to, return bankruptcy protections to private student loans. Well, at the 11th hour, the student loan companies, Sallie Mae, others, probably many from maybe even the Department of Education, I don't know, they lobbied the Blue Dog Democrats. Lobbied them hard. And lo and behold, at the 11th hour, the Blue Dog Democrats stand up and kill this amendment to return bankruptcy protections to private student loans. I think that's worth very serious bitch. If you have a blue dog Democrat in representing your district, get rid of them. They're worthless. But anyways, we're not a partisan group per se. We say very bad things about people, politicians, and parties on the student loan issue, as they deserve to be criticized. On the other hand, we say very good things about the very few, far smaller number of Democrats, Republicans, candidates, people, etc., who are fighting for us, for the citizens. And it's quite rare that we can do that. And on that note, I should probably put in a plug. There's actually a Republican, believe it or not. In the history of our organization, we have supported, I think, exactly 3, maybe 4 Republicans. Well, right now, here today, we can support a Republican by the name of Wayne Johnson. He is running for Senate in Georgia. He ran the federal student loan system for 7 months. He was a Trump appointee. He's a Republican. He came in, and after 7 months, he said, whoa, I quit. I'm not doing this. This is a failed lending system. And, oh, by the way, number one, he just wrote a letter, by the way. He wrote a letter to the Senate like 5 days ago. He said, number one, we've got to return bankruptcy protections to student loans. Number two, we've got to have widespread cancellation of these loans. This thing is just toast. And so we are supporting Wayne Johnson strongly for Senate in Georgia. If you live in Georgia, if anybody you know lives in Georgia, I urge you strongly to do whatever you can to help him. Get him press coverage, obviously vote for him. Tell everybody you know in Georgia with student loans to get behind this guy, Wayne Johnson. If even a small fraction of everybody in Georgia with student loans voted for him, even say 25%, he would win by a landslide because there's like 23 or 21 candidates in that race, which is kind of a weird thing. But so what else can we bitch about? Oh gosh, I don't even know where to begin. Let's bitch about the fact that in 1965, when the federal student loan program was initially rolled out, the president who signed that act into law, Lyndon Baines Johnson, at the signing speech, he declared that the loans that would happen as a result of the Higher Education Act, which are still in force today, the loans that you have and I have, they would be free of interest. Well, today, over $100 billion a year in interest alone clicks off on the nation's student debt tab. I think that's bitch-worthy. Is it not? What about the fact that back in 1965, or let's even say late 1975, okay? We as a nation owed maybe 10 million with an M, million, small m, dollars in student loans. Today, we owe nearly let's say we owe nearly $2 trillion. If you count a lot of interest that is not counted in the official government count, yeah, we're over $2 trillion by far. Even 10 years ago, we owed only $1 trillion. When we first started doing this, we owed less than $400 billion. So this is a lending catastrophe that no other generation, and I know we span multiple generations at this point, but no other population has been hit by. You know, as if life is not hard enough just making your way in the world and working and getting a job or running a business or however you roll to make ends meet, let alone this ridiculous big government, predatory, unconstitutional lending monstrosity thrown on our backs. You know, the effect this is having on the economy is huge. People are not buying homes. They're not starting businesses. But, you know, the real damage being done out in the country is far, far worse. You know, people not getting married, people running around with their tails between their legs. You know, I could talk about the suicides. I know that's a dark topic, but, you know, we've documented many at this point. The people fleeing the country. Come on, people. We're a better country than this. This lending system has to go. And I know a lot of people say, oh, no, you borrow the money, you have to pay it back. That is old, worn out, useless, pointless, irrelevant bankers' rhetoric at this point. This isn't about personal responsibility, guys. This lending system ran over us. This is about massively obscene government and lender irresponsibility. This is a broken train. It's gone off the tracks. It's toast. It's done. Put a fork in it. Student loans are done. You know, there's a very good reason that the student loan payment suspension happened. Because everybody in Washington, D.C. and on Wall Street, anybody who knows anything about this lending system knows it's a failed lending system. They don't want to touch it. It's a tar baby. The politicians don't want to touch it. They don't want to do the right thing because they're scared of it. The student loan swamp is still strong. But everybody knows this is a failed lending system. We don't give advice here on this group. But in my humble opinion, if you ever pay another dime back, certainly on your federal student loans, you should be ashamed of yourself. Not only is that unwise, I say it's unpatriotic. Do not feed this beast. It's done. And if you feel bad about not paying your student loans, we'll take whatever money you were going to pay and do something good with it. Put a kid through college, whatever you may do. But don't pay this lending system. It's got to be put down. This lending system has got to be taken out to the bathroom and drowned in the tub. It is a national threat at this point. It is a clear and present danger to the people of this country. There are 55 million people in the country with student loans, folks, or who are co-signed on them. 80% of them will never be able to repay their loans. That's 44 million people in the country who are losing sleep over their student loans. We're done. Lift that weight off your back. Throw it off. And help us fight instead. You know, this could have a pretty bad ending. The government and its minions, they have, at least to the letter of the law, power to ruin our lives. They can do it. They can lien our property. They can get judgments against us. They can even haul us off in arrest on account of our student loans through kangaroo courts that they can and have set up. I kid you not, 5 years ago, they started taking people away. SWAT teams were rolling up on people's homes and taking them away for arrest because they failed to appear on a summons that had to do with their defaulted federal student loans. Well, like I said, that was a kangaroo court. They sent the summons to the wrong address in the case that I know about. And all of a sudden, when it came time to make the arrest, they suddenly found the right address. Go figure. We don't want that sort of nonsense, dystopian outcome, folks. There's no reason for it. We have to stand up, and we have to fight, and we have to get these loans gone the right way. And that begins with you. Helping us with this petition is the number one thing. I said before, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. 3 easy things. You can boost the petition. So go to the petition, click on the promote button, pay some money. That will get it shown. And that does help. That gets us about a third of our signatures. You can call a news organization and tell them to report on this petition. You know, 600,000 signatures is not small. And our prescription for getting rid of these loans is the only prescription that will actually work. Executive order. Whether it's Donald Trump or Joe Biden or whoever it might be. Third thing you can do is just post the crap out of the link to the petition wherever you can think of to do it. Twitter it to Oprah, Twitter it to Ellen DeGeneres, Twitter it to Rush Limbaugh, whoever you want. Spend the time. Right now, you're not paying on your student loans, I'm guessing. Right now, many, if not most of us, are not working. You've got time on your hands. Why would you not spend a fucking hour a day, pardon my French, an hour or at least a half an hour a day helping get this petition everywhere it could possibly be seen by people who have student loans? Why would you not? Many people on this group are doing that, probably hundreds of people. But we've got 600,000 people either in this group or on our petition. All of them need to be doing that. And if you haven't been doing it, you need to get off your ass, pardon my French, for the second time. Hey, we've got a comment here. Sean Patterson, how you doing, Sean? Sean says, I want 100% watch your videos and agree. But if I don't pay my loans back, I get bad credit. My wages get garnished. Is there a way to make that stop happening? Well, you've been on the planet for quite a while, Sean. I think everybody knows kind of how to bulletproof themselves against collection companies. What I did personally when my wages started to threaten to be garnished, I simply talked to my employer. I said, hey, man, these loans are disgusting. They are unconstitutional. This lending system is dead. And the people asking you for the wage garnishment, they're not the government. They're not. They're a 2-bit collection company. It's a boiler room of snakes. And you don't have to do what they tell you to do. They don't carry the force of law with them. You demand a court order from them in order to do the wage garnishment. Please do that. And that's exactly what my boss did. He said, okay, who are you? Are you the Department of Education? Well, sir, we represent the Department of Education. No. Are you actually with the Department of Education? Do you work for, are you an employee of the Department of Education? Well, no, sir, no. Okay, well, get me a court order if you want this garnishment. That's what my boss did. And guess what? I never heard from collection companies again. So, I'm not sure exactly what else to tell you. 80% of all of us are in the same boat. You're fucked either way, my friend. So, would you rather be a wage slave and never be able to pay your loans and fall into default and still you're screwed? Or would you rather fight this lending system with us? I think you should fight. But whatever. Like I said, I don't give advice. Certainly those of you out there who have already defaulted on your loans, why would you not be fighting with us? Why would you not be helping us? If your credit's already screwed, if you already have to work under the table to avoid wage garnishment, whatever your situation may be. And in particular, if you are getting your wages garnished, why would you not fight like hell for us, with us? Why would you not? I'll never understand why, we've got thousands and thousands of people in this group, hundreds of thousands of people on our petition, and, on a daily basis, I'll say, guys, please do this. Simple thing, takes you 5 minutes. And maybe 300 people will actually do it. It's just astonishing to me why that is. But anyways. We've been doing this for long, people. We've been doing this for a long time, people. We know exactly what works. We know exactly what does not work. What does not work is all the nonsense you see about loan cancellation on the TV right now. From Joe Biden, from Elizabeth Warren, from others. Their loan cancellation plans are trash. Our loan cancellation is the only plan that will actually work. And believe me when I tell you, the people at the highest levels of the Joe Biden campaign and in the innermost circle of President Trump's people, I'm not going to say any names, they have reviewed our call very carefully, and they are considering it. But without big pressure from you sitting there. This is not a watch it happen movement. This is not a, hey, you go, Al, and hey, while you're up, can you get me a piece of pizza? No. This is not what that is. These are your loans. This is your problem. And you better get off your ass. Quit watching Facebook. This is not entertainment. I'm not here for your entertainment. We're here to solve this problem. And unless and until you get off your ass, own this problem, and help us fight, we're going to be screwed. Don't be that guy. Get off your ass. We've got 2 months before people start mailing in their votes. 2 months. If we can get 1 million signatures on our petition, which is not hard, we're more than halfway there right now, then if we can do that, let's say by September 1st, then that gives us a strong month and a half to play with. With the media, we carry a stronger stick when we go to talk to the Biden campaign, to the Kamala Harris people, to the Trump people, etc. Why would you not be doing that? You know, after November 3rd, after these elections, all of the politicians go, ah, thank God that's over with. Now I can go back to what I was doing before, which is not a damn thing. Resting on their laurels, being prom kings and you know, what politicians do right after they win election. Gloat, bathe in the spotlight, get bathed in the sunlight. Yeah, come on, guys. After November 3rd, before November 3rd, we could get this problem solved, people. We could. We absolutely could. So, it depends on you. So yeah, bitching about wage garnishments is another thing. You know, defaulted loans, there is no recourse for the borrower. There's not even any mechanism by which you can appeal a default claim. You know, for many years, Sallie Mae, the big lender, they would default thousands upon thousands of loans without even attempting to collect on the debts. They wouldn't even bother to send a letter or call the borrowers. They would just wait 9 months and then throw the loan into default and get paid by the federal government. And then they would come back in the form of their collection company. And what began as a $30,000 loan was now a $50,000, $60,000 loan with penalties and fees. And oh yeah, then they could find the borrower. Then they could contact the borrower and hound them. Because defaults are a huge moneymaker for the industry. So Sallie Mae did this. Many others did it. Probably didn't get caught. Sallie Mae did get caught. And yeah, they paid a $3 million fine. And yeah, there was a press release from the federal attorney's office in Boston. Yeah, they got their hands slapped. But I guarantee you that same kind of shit is happening right now as we speak. And there's no recourse for the borrowers. Not only have they taken bankruptcy protections away, they've taken away statutes of limitations. Every other loan and certainly in this country, has same bankruptcy protection as any other loan has. Gets considered exactly the same way by a bankruptcy judge. Every other loan has statutes of limitations, not student loans. I think every other loan has truth in lending laws that govern it, not federal student loans. Private student loans have amended truth in lending laws, but even those are weakened. Fair debt collection practices don't apply to state agencies, state guarantee agencies who hold the loans. On and on and on. You know, I'm not a bitch. You know, in general, you know, I don't condone sitting around preaching to the choir and bitching and bitching and bitching, because that doesn't get anything done. But I'm giving you some good bitches here, folks. And if you're gonna bitch, don't bitch down or sideways. Bitch up. Take these bitches to your Congress, to your member of Congress, to your senator. Bitch at them. Let them have it. Unleash your fury. Let them feel your pain. I've given you just a couple of things that you by all rights should be bitching about. And the number one thing that you should be calling for, which is a little more constructive than bitching, is the cancellation of these loans. As I said, it's a failed lending system. We can have a good ending. We can have a bad ending. This thing could go on forever, and you could die in this debt. You could be completely strangled and ruined. That's the bad outcome. Let's not do that. Let's do the good outcome, where we get these loans canceled by Election Day. President Trump sees the writing on the wall. He's about to get his ass handed to him in the election, which is a very strong possibility. He sees the 55 million voters out there who have or are co-signed on student loans, the 44 million of whom are losing sleep over their loans, and he does the right thing. That's the good outcome. Let's get that done. You know, you're not going to hear this from any of the other student loan advocacy groups. They're all nonsense. They don't want to solve this problem. They make their living off of this problem. They make their careers, their institutions fund themselves through this problem. The last thing they want to do is solve this problem. We absolutely want to solve this problem. I would like nothing more than to take this banner behind me and throw it in a fucking museum, if not the garbage, and be done with this problem, move on with my life, so you can move on with your life. We can all move on with our lives. I would like nothing better. Well, the opposite of what I just said is true. for the established beltway swampy student loan advocates. They're just full of shit, people. They just are. I could go on for another hour bitching about how the student loan advocates have actually torpedoed certainly our push for the return of bankruptcy protection to student loans going back to 2007, which they have. Deanne Lunin, National Consumer Law Center, and many others. If I'm going to throw some names out there, the Pergs, Christine Lindstrom, Tikas, not Bob Shireman. Bob Shireman used to be with Tikas, pretty good guy. Not a great guy, but a good guy. But Lauren Asher is certain of Tikas. All those people went to great lengths to submarine our push for the return of bankruptcy protection to student loans. So something's going on with those people. They're not right. Somehow I think it all goes back to Harvard University, where most all of those people that I just mentioned went to college, and where Deanne Lunin now still works, by the way. But whatever. The point remains, don't believe the institutions, the nonprofits, the student advocacy groups out there who claim to be fighting for you. They are not. So, okay, folks. So I know this is kind of a negative live stream. I usually don't do negative live streams. In actual fact, I am more positive. I am more optimistic. We have never been in a better position than we are right now here today, tonight, and for the next 2 months than we have ever been for getting these loans gone, getting this problem solved. Starts with you. What are you right there, what are you going to do right now and for the rest of the evening to get our petition out there? How many places are you going to paste the link to our petition? How many eyeballs are you going to make sure see this petition? Most people with student loans who see it will sign it. And oh, by the way, they will thank you for posting it. So that's a question only you can answer. I've asked, what is your answer? But hang in there, folks. The very last thing I'm going to say is if you could please donate, please do so. We survive only on very frugal donations from our members who are financially distressed as a general rule. Right now, we need to raise, I think we're down to about $150 left that we need to raise like right now for the Democratic National Convention, where we will be going over the next 3 days through Thursday. We're going to try and get our signs on TV. We'll see how that goes. It has worked extraordinarily well in the past. In fact, some of the greatest growths that we've seen to our group have occurred during the DNC, RNC conventions in Philadelphia and Cleveland. Also the debates. So this is definitely worth doing. So help out, guys. We can do this on very little. Driving to Milwaukee for a day or two, that's not that expensive. But it doesn't cost nothing. So help out. We're busting our asses on this end. You need to do the same. So, all right, folks, get to it. Keep us posted as to your accomplishments. We love to brag about that sort of thing. I know you're out there. I know a lot of people are out there are helping. And to you, I salute. I give you my greatest approbation. If you had a badge of merit, a badge of honor, yeah, you definitely deserve it. So thank you for that. Those of you who are not, come on, man. Get on it. Godspeed and God bless everybody.